In the highlands of southern Africa, among the rugged peaks and rolling plains, there rose a leader whose legacy would shape the identity of a people and the borders of a nation. His name was Moshoeshoe I, a man of vision, diplomacy, and unshakable leadership. As the founder of the Lesotho nation, Moshoeshoe transformed scattered clans into a unified kingdom, held his ground against colonial pressures, and left a legacy that endures in the modern state of Lesotho. This is the story of a king who built a nation not only through war, but through wisdom, patience, and the power of unity. Moshoeshoe was born around 1786 in the region of what is now Lesotho. His birth name was Lepiko, and he was the son of Moshoeshoe, a minor chief of the Bamakoteli clan, a subgroup of the larger Lesotho people. From a young age, Lepiko stood out as a charismatic and intelligent boy, known for his sharp memory, strategic thinking, and natural leadership qualities. He was raised in a traditional Lesotho cultural environment where storytelling, cattle herding, and the warrior ethos shaped the character of young boys. As Lepiko came of age, southern Africa was being torn apart by a period of chaos and violence, known as the Difaqane or Mafena time, when powerful kingdoms like the Zulu under Shaka and the Ndwan Wonders Wide were waging war and displacing entire communities. The destruction left in the wake of these power struggles sent waves of refugees across the region, destabilizing smaller chiefdoms and threatening the survival of countless clans. It was in this crucible of crisis that Lepiko emerged as a leader. He earned the praise of his people after a successful cattle raid against a rival chief named Ramanahan. In celebration, his praise poets gave him the name Moshoeshoe, an onomatopoeic word derived from the sound of a razor shearing hair, symbolizing how he had shaved his enemies. The name stuck, and soon, Moshoeshoe would begin to wield the razor not only in battle, but as a tool of nation building. Recognizing the danger of remaining vulnerable during the Difaqane, Moshoeshoe made a strategic decision that would define his legacy. Around 1820, he led his people to the nearly impenetrable mountain fortress of Thaba Bosiu, a flat-top mountain in the Maloti Range. Thaba Bosiu, which means mountain at night, became the heart of the Lesotho nation with steep cliffs, narrow passes, and natural defenses. It was the perfect sanctuary stronghold that would prove crucial in resisting enemy forces and colonial armies for decades to come. But what truly set Moshoeshoe apart was not just his military strategy, it was his vision of unity. As waves of displaced peoples wandered the region, Moshoeshoe welcomed refugees and offered them protection. He understood that strength lay in numbers, and he invited people from different clans and ethnic backgrounds to join his growing nation. Over time, these diverse groups were integrated into a cohesive Lesotho identity, bound by loyalty to the king and shared customs. Moshoeshoe's leadership style emphasized conciliation over conquest. While he maintained a strong army and defended his kingdom with determination, he often sought to resolve conflicts through diplomacy. He was known to return stolen cattle to rival chiefs to maintain peace, and even forgave those who had plotted against him. His philosophy was simple yet powerful. Peace is the rain that makes the grass grow. In the 1830s, new challenges emerged, this time from European settlers. The Boers, Dutch-descended farmers migrating inland from the Cape Colony, were expanding their territory into what is now the Free State. Clashes soon erupted between the Boers and the Lesotho, leading to intermittent warfare over land and sovereignty. Moshoeshoe, outnumbered and outgunned, leveraged his diplomatic skills. He sought alliances and corresponded with British missionaries and colonial officials to balance the encroaching threats. One of the key relationships Moshoeshoe cultivated was with French Protestant missionaries, particularly Eugene Casales, who arrived in 1833. Casales served not only as a spiritual guide, but also as a political advisor and translator, helping Moshoeshoe navigate the complex world of European diplomacy. With their assistance, Moshoeshoe wrote letters to Queen Victoria and sought British protection against Boer expansion. Despite his best efforts, conflict with the Boers escalated. In the 1850s and 60s, the Lesotho engaged in several wars, most notably the Free State Lesotho Wars. The Lesotho suffered heavy losses, including the temporary loss of large swaths of fertile land. But Moshoeshoe's resilience was unmatched. He turned to the British Cape Colony for aid and in 1868 secured British protection for the Lesotho Kingdom, effectively preserving his people from being absorbed into Boer republics. This act of negotiating protectorate status while retaining internal autonomy was a masterstroke. It allowed the Lesotho to survive as a distinct cultural and political entity. even as the rest of southern Africa was being colonized. It laid the groundwork for the future kingdom of Lesotho, which would emerge as a sovereign nation in the 20th century. Moshoeshoe passed away on March 11, 1870, not long after securing British protection. He was buried on Thaba Bosiu, the mountain that had served as both fortress and symbol of Basotho resilience. His funeral was a moment of collective mourning and pride, attended by his people and foreign allies alike. He had lived through one of the most turbulent eras in southern African history and had emerged as a symbol of unity, wisdom, and survival. The legacy of Moshoeshoe is not just measured in battles won or territory held. It is found in the survival of his people, the preservation of their language, and the endurance of a national identity forged under fire. Today, in modern Lesotho, Moshoeshoe is celebrated as a national hero with statues, holidays, and schools bearing his name. He is remembered not just as a warrior king, but as a father of a nation. His descendants continue to rule in a constitutional monarchy, and his vision for a united, peaceful Basotho people lives on in the highlands he once defended. In a world where kings often sought glory through bloodshed, Moshoeshoe stood apart, proving that a nation could be built through empathy, diplomacy, and strength of character.